do I want sexually? This is the 6th video in the What Do I Want series, so it's time to get your pen and paper out and be ready to take some notes and do some thinking. Hi, this is Mark Clayton coming to you from my home office in Burien, Washington with your ECNM Lifestyles Daily Minute. And in this series, our Daily Minute goes a little longer than a minute, but I hope you'll get something out of it. So, it's time to ask yourself, what do I want? No, I'm not wanting you to ask me, because this is something that's important to you, to sit down and just ask yourself, what do I want sexually? Do I want more sex? Do I want less sex? Do I want about the same amount of sex? Do I want sex with more people? Do I want sex with fewer people? Do I want sex with only one person? You know, what is it that you want? Do I want more variety in sex? Do I want to explore more? Do I want to simply discover more? Do I want, more excitement? And do I want more connection, like, emotional connection with it? So there's so many thpays that you might want out of your sex life. It's time for you to sit down and do some brainstorming and think about what it is that you want. And then once you think about it, write it down. Because we find that until things get written down on paper, then you lose track of them, you lose sight of them. And that's the purpose of these exercises on the questions, what do I want? Is you spend time to write them down and ask yourself, what do I want? And in this case, what do I want sexually? Think about that. Because really only you can answer that question. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no answer that you should be ashamed of or embarrassed by. You should be able to take and share everything that you want with the people who are closest to you and most intimate to you. I certainly have that situation with my partners where I can share everything. They know all my fantasies and they know my fetishes. They know my taboos. And it's such a great feeling to be able to share those things. But if you don't write them down and be clear about them yourself, how can you share them with anybody else? And so when you are able to share it with someone else, it may be something that there's no way that it's ever going to come to fruition. If it's so outlandish, it may be something that's totally illegal. But it doesn't hurt to have conversations about these things. It doesn't mean you have to act on everything that you write down saying that this is what I want. I'd like to win the lottery. It's not going to happen. I've never bought a lottery ticket. But I'd like to win the lottery, especially that big one, it's $265 million or something like that goes on once in a while. I'd like to win it. But, if I don't get in the game, I'm never going to have a chance of winning the lottery. Well, it's the same thing for the things that you want sexually. It doesn't mean you have to get in all those games and start taking and putting action towards what you write down. There are some things you certainly will want to do that. But if it's something that's just totally outlandish and off the wall or maybe something illegal, then, at least have a conversation about it and write it down and talk about it. And then that doesn't mean that you have to take any action on it. But it's so freeing to be able to talk with those who are closest and most intimate with you. And if you don't have a kind of a relationship where then you can really talk about these things, guess what? I'd suggest that you either work on that relationship so that you can, or think about changing relationships. Because you really, there's nothing more beautiful and freeing, because we talk about that we want to help you to increase your liberation, your abundance, and your freedom. And there's nothing more liberating and more freeing than being able to share everything, all of your wants, all of your desires, by communicating them with your partners. And so then ask yourself, take a look at what your life is like sexually right now. Is it been going downhill? Is it going uphill? Do you want it to go uphill more? Or do you want it to level out a little bit? What is it that you want? Spend some time thinking about it. And if you'll spend the time thinking about it, sure enough, you'll begin to improve your sex life if you keep that want in front of you. So thanks a lot. If you want to know more about ECNM Lifestyles, go ahead and click on that link.